Classes of salts in chemistry. When the topic of salt is raised, many of you think it is the table salt used in cooking. But in this video, I'm going to review the various classes of salt. A salt, by definition, is a compound formed from an acid through the replacement of replaceable hydrogen ion of the acid by a cation or positively charged ion. Now, here are the classes of salts in chemistry. If the salt is made up of a single cation and a single anion, the salt is called simple. So a salt is simple when it is made up of only one positively charged ion, either metal or ammonium ion, and only one non-metallic ion or one negatively charged polyatomic radical. For example, calcium sulfide, the cation there is Ca2+, and the anion there is sulfide, S2-. Another example is sodium chloride. The single cation there is Na1+, and the anion is Cl1-. Another example is potassium trioxocarbonate 4. The single cation there is potassium ion, and the single anion is trioxocarbonate 4 ion. If a salt contains two different cations, but one anion, that is two different positively charged ions, but one negatively charged ion, the salt is called double. For example, potassium aluminium tetraoxosulfate 6 is a double salt. Double because there are two positively charged ions, potassium ion and aluminium ion, and only one negatively charged radical, which is tetraoxosulfate 6 ion. We also have potassium sodium tartrate. The two positively charged ions are potassium ion and sodium ion. And then we have one negatively charged ion, which is tartrate ion from tartaric acid. In fact, the full name is potassium sodium tartrate tetrahydrate because the salt crystal contains 4 molecules of water per molecule in the crystal. If a salt contains a dative bond between an anion or neutral atom or group and a central metal ion, then the salt is called complex salt. For example, potassium hexacyanoferrate 2 salt. We have one negatively charged radical, cyanide ion, which are 6 in number. These cyanide ions act as the ligand that donates electron pair to the central metal atom, which is ion. Recall that I said earlier that a salt is formed when the replaceable hydrogen ion from an acid has been replaced with a metallic or ammonium ion. Now, when all the replaceable hydrogen ion of an acid are replaced by a positively charged metal or ammonium ion, the salt formed is called normal salt. For example, sodium tetraoxosulfate 6 formed from tetraoxosulfate 6 acid. The two hydrogen ions have been replaced by sodium metal. Now, when only some hydrogen ions of an acid are replaced, that is, the hydrogen ions of an acid are partly replaced to form a salt that still retains some hydrogen ions, the salt is called acid salt. For example, sodium hydrogen trioxocarbonate 4. You can see there is a positive ion there, sodium. Another positive ion there is hydrogen ion. And then we have negative ion trioxocarbonate 4 ion. You can see that this salt is not normal salt. It is acidic because it still has a replaceable hydrogen ion. In contrast to acid salts, when a salt has some remnant of hydroxide ion, it is called basic because bases are known for containing hydroxide ion. For example, copper 2 hydroxide chloride is a basic salt because apart from the negatively charged chloride ion, there is another negatively charged ion, hydroxide ion,